Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me as always is...
Sesame, Theevan, and Carta, Mia.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the pronunciation of this film that we're covering. I've seen... I watched another review of it where they weren't sure if it was Theevan or Thieven.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I meant to say Theevan, not Thieva. Yeah, Sesame, Theevan, and Carta, Mia.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not really sure which it is, but it's all good, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched this, for this episode of our So Bad They're Good series. We watched a cinematic masterpiece of a short film that starred a character named Theevan, or Thieven, who was a crudely animated character that looked like Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, but like his uglier brother.
Yeah, a little bit, actually.
Yeah. So,
some people are compared to Caillou as well, a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that, but yeah. Whole time I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, this is like Lex Luthor, but it's like ugly, you know, his ugly brother named Les Luthor.
Yes, Lex. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm Les. My brother's Lex Luthor. I'm Les Luthor.
Yes.
My parents named me that, so you know.
I'm not quite as Luthor-y as he is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this film was made or released at least in 2012. Supposedly took months and months to make, from what I've read. It was made in Blender, which was like an early, like, you know, consumer animation thing. It's still around and it's used by professionals in pretty good ways. I mean, it was used brilliantly here. And and there's it was directed, produced, written, and edited by a guy named Danan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but his name appears on the screen a bunch of times. It's Thi. Yeah.
He's like 90% responsible for this movie.
Yeah. It's Thilakanathan.
So, it sounds like maybe like Burmese, Myanmar area, or maybe like Tibetan. You know, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Like some kind of Asian, but it's not like usually not the countries that people usually think of when they think of Asia, like Myanmar, or like I don't know, because they showed the text at one point when it said Theevan, and then they kind of like reversed it, and it looked like it was a text, and I don't know what that script is, but I think it might be like Cambodian, maybe, or I don't know. I'm not sure, but yeah, I can't pronounce it either. I tried to, but I could hardly find anything online to even read about this movie.
I only found a couple reviews online of this movie anywhere, and I mean, I found Letterboxd has a page for it, which is like a review site for people, and the reviews consist of things like, "I'll never forget you, my sweet bald boy," Yeah. So that's the reviews. Yeah. So there's no like real reviews. And I mean, this film obviously was never released commercially, as far as I know. Just
it's like the best movie of all time.
Just on YouTube. And I mean, if you look at the credits, they use music from like Avatar.
I know.
And like James Horner music and different things like that. And from some other like big movies like Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know.
Totally copied it.
Yeah, they just used it right off the soundtrack for the movie. So yeah.
Yeah, not even copy. It would have just lifted the actual.
Yeah. Well, at least they credited the sources.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, at least very very least. I guess they didn't. They at a certain point they just decided they didn't want to turn a profit on this. So then they're like, okay, fuck it. But man, I'm interested to talk about the plot. Can we talk about the plot? Because I'd like.
Yes, I was going to let you kind of drive us here with the plot because.
Oh God.
I don't know what it was.
Okay, so I watched it last night and I watched it again today. It was all right. So basically, there's this kid, I guess, or young man. Can't really tell. Named Theevan, who's like super super excited and like runs around a bunch and jumps up and down, and he has this person in his life named Mia, which I don't know if it's supposed to be. I don't even know if it's supposed to be male or female, to be honest. I don't know. And
Mia starts out with like this big luxurious, head of hair in one shot. And then after that looks like somebody that's like a leper with like hair falling out of their head.
So yeah, I read something about that, and it had something to do with he couldn't figure out how to animate hair, and so like he just lifted like some other thing and like put it on top of it. So that's why the hair always seems like it's coming in and out of place all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it literally looks like it might as well have shaved it at that point. I mean, like it's like there's no saving it at that point. And yeah, this character named Mia, who's supposed to be maybe some kind of parental figure of Theevan. Theevan's super excited. He's running around. The way he walks, it almost looks like he's got something wrong with his back. Like he's always like hunched over. Like, well, not hunched over. He's like the opposite way, where he's like doing this weird. You ever played the video game Fletcher the Unlikely for Super Nintendo?
No.
Okay, so it's a really dumb game, and like the thing is, the way he walks, it's like his back is like hanging back. I don't know how to explain. Like, you know how someone's hunched over?
Yeah.
But it's the opposite of being hunched over. It's being hunched under, I guess. I don't know what you would call it.
It's like the reverse Quasimodo.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like he's like Theevan like walks like that sometimes, and he does like this weird like. It kind of reminds me of Joshua and the Promised Land a little bit, actually. I'm
pretty sure they used the same kind of animation. Like
except for Joshua was 2003 or something. But
yeah, but it's probably the same like program or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the whole plot, or the beginning of the plot, I guess I should say, is that Mia has to take a 20-day trip somewhere, and to get it. Don't know what it is, but Mia has to be the one to do it.
Well, she's going to get it, if you know what I mean. She's gonna, meet.
No, that's what maybe that's what she meant.
Meet some guy out at sea, and she needs to, get some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I need to leave Theevan for a little bit. Maybe the other people can watch him for 20 days. I need a break. I don't know. And so Theevan doesn't want her to go. And this goes on for like a good 10 minutes. Like this storyline itself of I gotta take a 20-day trip. No. Yeah, I gotta do it. Okay. And then like they're like go to the marketplace, and he's like dancing around for some reason and like doing these weird dance moves. And at one point, you got these other little kids like doing the robot dance like in the middle of the market square for like no apparent reason. Mm-hmm. And then like Steven decides like he's playing hide and seek now. And at one point, he holds up a poster, and the picture is of the guy who made the film.
Yes.
So Anyway, you want to take it ahead a little bit, or you want me to keep it?
Well, okay, so eventually, Mia, or Mia, however you pronounce it. I don't know why, but I want to pronounce it Mia. And
it might, yeah.
She leaves on this like huge boat by herself. Nobody else is on the boat. It's like,
no one else is just her. Yeah.
It's like she gets on the Black Pearl or something from Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's no crew. It's just her. And she takes off, and there's like this random dragon that comes by, and for no particular reason whatsoever, just decides to attack this boat.
It was like a planned attack. Yeah. It was like the dragon, for some reason, wanted to do this. Like, set out. It wasn't like, oh, I was afraid of something. Like, no, it went out. But before that, though, there's like 5 minutes where the kids are just jumping and waving.
Yeah.
And it's like the weirdest thing ever, like the animation.
These random other kids that we never see again either. So it's like,
yeah, we don't know if they're like Theevan's brothers and sisters, or like, we don't
I'm
know
assuming they're his brothers because they look exactly like him. But then again,
yeah, because they're all bald and
like everybody in the fucking
have hardly any facial expressions whatsoever. That's the other thing too. The facial expressions are hilarious, and it's like 90% of the time they don't even reflect what's going on in the situation at all. And occasionally they do, which makes it even better. So they jump around for like good seems like 2 minutes. And for some reason though, I always get choked up though, because they're playing like the Avatar music as she's leaving, and she starts crying a little bit, and he starts crying, and for some reason the tears are black or gray for some reason. I don't know. And then that seemed to be a thing. I don't know what it was.
I think they're just like outlined like heavily, so that's why, because like they probably couldn't figure out how to do subtle tears that looked realistic in the animation.
Yeah, I've seen. And yeah, so like they, he gets sad. The other kids are still jumping up like idiots the whole time. And then but that's the other thing too. So it was like bright day during that, and then it was pitch black night. And the boat was still within eyesight, apparently, from Theevan. So the boat must be going like 0 miles per hour or something like that.
It's like weird. Like, I mean, I remember when like people were waving people goodbye on the Titanic in the Titanic movie, and this is like this was like a lot longer than that. It was like, what the hell, like. But both boats had the same fate, and
well, not the dragon part, but
no. You mean to tell me that Titanic wasn't sunk by a dragon? Because that's what I remember learning in my history books.
Well, if we're talking about the parallel universe theory, then yes, that did happen in one of the universes that we live in.
I heard it was a dragon named Iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, because instead of blowing on fire, it blows ice. Yes.
Yes.
Or frozen air or whatever. Yeah.
So anyways, back to our dragon, which was like, better than anything you ever saw in like, Dragonheart or Game of Thrones or anything. This was just like the best dragon you've ever seen. And it's like it destroys the boat, and the boat falls apart like it's like, I don't know, some Lincoln Logs or something. And the dragon goes right through the boat after like setting it on fire and stuff, and
he had to strip the boat first and then light it on fire, and then the boat exploded for some reason, which gasoline on the boat. That's the other thing too. It was like super intense because they show like all these bolts and stuff. Like suddenly the animation got like really good for like that split second, and then it was like this weird rumble effect going on, which we find later on. Like for some reason, he randomly utilizes this rumble effect, like seemingly at random.
Yeah.
And like it never shows up again for like another 10 minutes. And then, so he's all like sad and shit. And there's these other guys sitting around a campfire, or sitting around fire. And I don't know if they're relatives or just members of the community. I don't know. And then they're like, basically mourning Mia. And then one of the guys is like, oh, if you go to this mountain and at a certain time, then like the spirit has to grant your wish or whatever,
We
and so we could bring Mia back to life or whatever.
we do have to talk about one of the most important, stylistic choices of this movie.
Sure.
Instead of, hiring bad actors to, speak for the characters, there's just subtitles.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, the whole thing is in like, groaning sounds and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, like you have all the sound effects, but people don't talk. They just have subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually prefer that sometimes in the real world.
I mean, why not? I mean, yeah. I would like that, especially if they look like the Theevan character. So Theevan, like, he was crying in mourning, and he had like a cloak around his head, and then the cloak fell off, and he was crying, and it looked like his neck was like 15 feet too long for some reason. All of a sudden, like his neck grew in size or length, and and then he overhears the one guy, and he's like, I'm gonna bring back Mia, and then so he goes on this journey. And like so I'm trying to figure out if this story has a metaphor to it, or if it's just random shit. Because like even before Mia went under trip, like it seemed like Steven had like almost like a connection with like all of, like the creatures. Because like at one point a bird just like swoops down and lets Steven ride the bird like throughout the air, and then like dives into the ocean, stuff like that. And then Mia was like kind of like whoa, like when that happened.
I mean,
And so I don't know.
it was like kind of like, wasn't it like a bird that was kind of similar to like the Avatar birds or whatever?
Oh, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what they got the idea from.
yeah.
Yeah, and because they were probably playing the Avatar theme at that point too. And so he goes on his journey, and at one point he there's like these weird blue like giraffe ocean like creatures, I guess, and one of them tries to eat him. And he's got this weird weapon where it's not even a weapon, it's just like a piece of metal or something. Don't even know what it's actually supposed to be. And he's been using this as like a weapon the entire time throughout the whole movie. It's just
And
like a piece of metal. Like,
and it seems like he keeps it in his leg.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's weird. He just pulls it out of his leg, which is that's gotta be painful. And then
Yeah.
and so the blue thing was going to eat him, but then I guess he spliced it with the metal, so then the thing dropped him. And then I don't think he was going to play with them because it didn't look like a predator at first. I thought he was going to like be interested in Steven, like, oh, cool, but he tried to eat him instead. And then right as he's about to die again, the bird shows up and then protects him, flies him again, and then by the way, when he's swimming, it just looks like he's on top of the water. Like it doesn't even look like he's swimming. Like he's just there sitting on the water. And then he proceeds to go to some land where it's at nighttime, and there's these green goblins that are there, and like they like just proceed to like just beat the holy hell out of him. Like, and like they're showing that rumble effect again, so it just like looks like he's getting the shit kicked out of him for real in real time. And then like he scrapes the piece of metal on a rock until the metal catches on fire, which can metal do that? Like I don't know. Like
I don't think rocks can catch on fire, but
metal, like you would have to be rubbing pretty hard to. Well, that's the other thing too. So suddenly he fights the goblins, and suddenly he knows martial arts, which we never had any indication that he knew at all so far.
Yeah.
In the movie, like so far he's been like an idiot, which is jumping around and like trying to like race Mia in the middle of like the market square and like playing hide and seek and showing pictures of like the creator of the film and things like that. And suddenly he's like taking on like three of these goblins at once. But at one point, one of them literally just takes him by the arms and just swings them into a tree and almost knocks him out. And then that's when he decides to rub the piece of metal against the rock, and somehow that caught the metal on fire, which I don't think it's even possible. Like I think you would need like a lot of friction to heat up a piece of metal until it turned to fire. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying it seems like it would be more than like a piece of wood that you would need to do. But for some reason, the goblins are so deathly afraid of light that they all ran away just from that little flicker of light that Theevan had.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then I forgot what else happened. I've watched it twice, but I'm still like in the blur now.
I know at one point he goes like through like the desert and his feet disappear into the ground. But
yes.
Yeah. At one other point, I want to mention that he eats a watermelon.
Oh yes.
In the greatest scene in the whole movie. He eats this watermelon and makes really loud noises, but nothing seems to be taken. There's like not a single bite taken out of the watermelon.
No, it just replenishes. It's like an eternal watermelon. It just replenishes itself. You never. It actually sounds really good right now. I actually. I've been craving fruit lately, like fresh fruit, and the watermelon sounds
the everlasting watermelon. It would be the greatest.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's a good title.
Yeah.
The everlasting one. I like that.
Yes.
And damn though, and yeah, his feet disappear into the sand at one point. He starts doing that weird walk again, where he's like got his back hanging, but he's also doing this weird like langy type. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, then, I just went and had X-rays done on my back yesterday, and found out I have arthritis in my back, and I really hope I don't start walking like that. I just really hope. And pray.
You get the Thieven walk. No,
yeah.
And, just wear a back brace. I don't think he thought of that, but and so we get this weird like cut scenes where he's practicing martial arts in like the forest at one point, and he's doing it in front of a house, which I don't know where he found a house to do this at, or if anyone lives there. I don't know if he just showed up at someone's random yard and just started training martial arts by himself, which I would be kind of concerned if someone was just like standing in my front yard and just doing martial arts training. Like, okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why that bothers you. I've got like 4 guys in my front yard right now doing that.
Well, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's even for you. That's what he does. And then, so I don't know. There's like I'm really torn between thinking this movie is terrible, but also like an unironic like thrilling. And I like almost wonder if this was like intentionally created to be this open to interpretation.
Well, I mean, it's like I think that like the person really had ambition here.
It ain't.
But now we need to talk about so they go through the desert and all this other stuff, and at one point he fights these weird blue monsters with big heads. And then sea creatures and stuff, and then eventually he fights the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon comes back, yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets Mia back for a second in this weird thing. And then I think what they're trying to say, like he goes through this thing and he's like teleported to somewhere where she is in this house. And I'm assuming that's the house that they lived in or whatever. And then the video goes backwards in a weird way. And then he doesn't have her anymore. And then I think he kills himself.
Yeah.
He jumps off a cliff into the water. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the water jumps into the sea or where the water, yeah. So I was wondering about that too, because the very beginning of the movie, he walks in and Mia's got her back turned to him, and then she said something to him, and then the final scene ended almost exactly. So was this whole thing just like a time loop, and then he got out of the time loop by killing himself? Because earlier, right before she left, she said that Steven's birthday is going to be up in a month, and then she gave him this rock and told him not to open it until she got back. And so, she died or whatever.
We never find out what's in that rock either.
Well, you did though. It was a picture of them together.
Oh, was it? I never saw that. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
that. Oh,
right. Yeah, as he's in the water, you at the very end you see the rock, and that's the rock.
That's what that was. I didn't put 2 and 2 together there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was. And
yeah.
And so I don't know if this whole thing was a time loop where, because the story begins where, I don't think so though, because the time loop ends right after he killed the dragon, or not, sorry, the dragon didn't get killed. The blue, that's the other thing too. The blue sea creature, which I would consider to be a prey of the dragon, not a predator of the dragon, killed the dragon by pulling it down into the ocean, I guess. I would think that a dragon would be the predator of that type of creature, not the other way around. But that's the thing, the guy who wrote Theevan, he's not letting you get off easy. He's gonna make you question things. So, you know,
it really plays out like a dream. Like a real dream, because like when you have a dream, like you'll be sitting there and like you're walking through Walmart, and then the next minute you're at a baseball game. You know, it's like things don't really make sense necessarily. You know.
Yeah, totally. It's just hilarious. But that's the other thing too. So I was confused because when he was about to like stab the dragon with this weird piece of metal that's somehow a weapon, but it looks kind of like a piece of pipe or half of a crowbar. Or, I don't know what it is. He looks at the eye, and then like it's a flashback to like Mia. But then he goes, Mia? So was the dragon supposed to be Mia, like in a different form? Or, like, I don't understand what, like, why...
And if that's the case, the dragon killed Mia, so then would...
Or the dragon, or rather Mia became the dragon and then destroyed the ship to make Theevan think that she died?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Or she killed herself somehow? I'm confused.
Or maybe the 20-day trip was that she knew she was going to turn into a dragon for 20 days. And that's why she had to leave. But then again, why would she try to kill him? I don't know, whatever. And, or maybe it's like a werewolf by night type situation where you can't help it, you know, so I don't know. I don't know if he thought that way through. Then again, if it is true, then that means the blue sea creature then killed Mia. So... What? Like,
and maybe the blue sea creature was Theevan, and no,
maybe it's sort of Theevan killed me. I don't know. And then you're right. And then like Mia returns like from like like almost like enshrouded in light through like this portal, teleportal thing or whatever. And then, oh god, the facial expression in the red skin because of the light.
Yeah.
And he smiles. It's the creepiest still frame ever. Like, if you took a screenshot of that and used that for something, that would just be, like, terrifying. Like,
you could take that and turn it into a mask for a horror film. That would be great.
Oh, God. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't know, man. And then just as she turns around and he smiles and he's about to say something, and he says, Mia, and then it's like, everything goes backwards until the moment after the dragon was taken down to the sea. And that's when, like, I agree with you. I think he killed himself. He jumped into the water.
Yeah, he did, and he never came back up.
And then, you see the picture of them together, so that, which kind of seemed like a farewell type of thing, you know, like, I don't know, man. It was an interesting movie.
It was very... I don't know. It was like David Lynch or something. No, I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Very Lynchian.
Yeah.
Kind of. I really wish there was more info to read about this. Like, there's very little.
There's very little on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found some Reddit threads and stuff, and that's about it. But there's not much. It doesn't even have an entry on the Internet Movie Database.
No, I was surprised that.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that I found it has a letterbox, which you know, but like I said, there's only let me see here. There are like a half a dozen. Or not a half a dozen, like a dozen reviews, I should say. Yeah, on there, and not really. I mean, they're not like professional reviews; they're just people. But most of them are just comical reviews, like they're nothing serious, like delving into it, which obviously. But the They're all like, most of them are like 4.5 or 5-star reviews. Yeah,
probably ironic 4 and 5. Yeah,
yeah. Like this one, this one person says Miyazaki is dog shit. Brad Bird fucking sucks. Don Bluth can suffocate on my penis. None of them will ever make Thieven.
Totally true.
Yep. Oh boy.
Even is when ambition meets limitation of resources.
Yes.
And knowledge. That you basically just, the ambition is enough to carry you to the finish line.
You're biting off a little bit more than you can chew. I mean, maybe I'd really almost like to see this director get together with somebody that has knowledge in this field and like remake this, so we can actually understand what they were trying to say.
I mean, totally. Someone did that with the Joshua and the Promised Land. I think they reanimated it, and it looks a lot better.
Well, what they did with that is they actually just had several animators do each scene of the movie of Joshua and the Promised Land in a different style.
Oh, okay.
So like one scene was stop motion, the next one was like done in anime style, the next one was done, similar to like Steven Universe or something. It was just different, okay. Things like that. But it was, that was interesting. But I would actually like to see like, maybe some Pixar animator take a stab at this or something,
Yeah, I mean, totally.
Or wait, we can have live action Theeven.
A live action feed, yes.
Yes. And to make it even better, just like get Michael Rosenbaum and have him shave his head again and play Thieven. Well,
yes.
Boy.
Hey, he's been talking about wanting to, be in a great show again. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
This is a great. It's probably way better than Smallville, actually. So
yeah, I mean, he was in. He did reprise his role in the latest Guardians of the Galaxy, but where you can't even tell it's him though, because it's all like he's got like icicles for a head. But the
exactly.
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm a big fan of Michael Rosenbaum, so that's why I'm bringing him up. So anyway,
yeah, man, he's cool.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I listened to his podcast.
Yeah. But anyways, any other thoughts here on Thieven, or are we even? No, wait.
Yeah, we're even Thieven, and
that's it. We'll get Shia LaBeouf in this, and then we'll no.
Yeah,
Christy Carlson Romano will be good.
Yeah, but I would recommend it. I think this is definitely a movie to at least watch one time, just to kind of get the feel.
Yeah.
Of like. Could be a movie can be, but like not on purpose, but like the fact that it's not on purpose almost makes it more trippy.
Yeah.
In a weird way, because like I said last night, I was watching this and I was like, this story is fucking wild, man. Like you just got him like randomly like racing Mia in the street, and then like dancing, then you got these other kids doing like the robot for no apparent reason in the middle of the outside market. It's like, what?
Well, by saying racing, it got me thinking of another bald guy. Maybe Vin Diesel can star in the live action version.
Yeah, because the whole story's about family, and you're like, a family.
Yeah.
And then he just drives the car up into the mountains instead of walking. And he just like runs over the goblins and then like just shoots his car into the dragon as he jumps out, and like I don't know.
Anyways, anything else here?
No, that's it.
Yeah, I think I've said everything I needed to say about this thing. But yeah, if anybody comes across anything interesting like this that you want us to talk about, just send it to me at mike@cullenpark.com. I'm all up for watching weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, no disrespect to the guy that we can't pronounce the name of, whose name is in the credits a million times.
Well, I would learn it if I could hear an audio of it.
Yeah, me too. I'm just saying I can't pronounce it, so I'm just not going to try. I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah. I mean, if there's no audio to give you like to help, do it,
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to see what else they could do.
Mm-hmm.
But for as far as our show goes, though, if you want to send us anything, like I said, go ahead. Also, check out All2ReelToo.com. You can get all of our info there. If you want to help out the show, check out our TeePublic or our Patreon. Share the show. That's a good way to help us out. If you want people to, know about us. Also, if you want to talk about anything on the show, feel free to let us know, and maybe you can come on and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're always looking for guests. Anyways, besides that, folks, make sure you're good to each other. Don't go fighting with trolls or trying to eat some everlasting watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely don't jump off a cliff and kill yourself, because that's bad.
Don't do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Call somebody for help. And
yes.
Until next time, folks, remember that I love you. Sesame loves you. Theevan definitely loves you. And
Mia loves you.
Mia loves you.
And
maybe the dragon.
Maybe.
And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.